evening, everyone. It is the 28th of February. It's 9 o'clock. It's Friday night. It's still number one. It's the Manchester United agenda. I am joined tonight by two of my favourite people. One, you know him as a cracked up Santa Claus. It's Mr. B.
Let's hold the crack. Let's hold the crack, man. What's happening, BT, man? I hope you're good, man.
I'm really good. I enjoyed the show last night, except for all that Ugarte propaganda.
Listen, you were there in it, so we put it out because we know you shut it down as soon as we start the loving. I don't. I love Ugarte. I don't care. You know,
might go on to why I don't like Ugarte. Actually,
I know why you don't like Ugarte because he doesn't pass forward. There's a few
on the blind side.
I know. But me, I don't care about your opinion. I think Ugarte is fantastic for us.
Brilliant. Well, that's good. Hopefully, there's a man here who does care about my opinion. It's everyone's favourite Williams brother. It's Tyrone.
How you doing? How's everyone doing? You all good?
How come you gone? What you done? You stopped the phone?
You under the water now?
You were fine about 2 minutes ago, and then you sound like you're underwater.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. What did you do?
I just moved a bit. The signals in my area is not very good.
That's all right. That's what happens when you live in Birmingham.
I'm in South London, Mr. B. Don't do me like that.
They've been teething your mask, man. That's what it is, man. They've been selling them for scrap.
Oh dear. All right. Should we see who's in the house?
Yes.
I think it's just two people. It is Andrew, who has already launched into something or other that I can't be bothered to read. Hello, Andrew. And we've got we deserve better. Double trifling already. You've got very sad eyes.
Oh, trifle. What?
No
Sherry?
trifle.
Eastern East. Can I see that? That says trifle. Double helping of trifle. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
That's because Andrew eats whole trifles from Tesco for his dinner.
Wow. Just listen, strawberry, the tropical one, because I know they don't do a sherry one. I prefer a homemade trifle, but I'll do a whole trifle from Tesco. No problem at all, man.
Thanks for that.
Sorry.
And we deserve better. Saying hello to everyone. Let's go back to like more nudity. We deserve better in your profile picture. You just look a bit sad there. It makes me wonder if everything's all right.
Is that we deserve better? I thought it was Kvaratskhelia for a second.
Really?
That's what I thought. Yeah.
All right, it's strawberry, by the way. Andrew noshes down on strawberry. What's your go-to pudding, Tyrone?
I like apple crumble or trifle.
Custard?
I like apple crumble with custard. Yeah,
nice. Ambrosia, right?
Yeah, ambrosia.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I like rice pudding as well.
Ambrosia as well, right?
Yeah.
Bath time, I know you're not allowed to eat that, are you?
No, but if I were, I would go for a Black Forest gatto.
I'd eat that as well. I have no problem eating a trifle and a Black Forest gatto, to be fair.
I like Millionaire's shortbread as well.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that.
No?
No, I'm not a fan of that at all.
Bit too dry.
Yeah.
I get it. All right. Shout out to Simon Warner. Sorry. Greetings to the Wild Bunch. Andrew, apple crumble, rice pudding. God, you can tell it's a Friday night, innit? All right. Let's just get Garnacho's dinner out of the way. Garnacho has to buy dinner because he flounced off after being subbed and put up a very self-serving picture of himself on Instagram. I'm surprised he didn't show himself on the cross the way he was trying to laugh at himself. I mean, Mr. B, you're a well-known disciplinarian. You run a team.
Yeah,
what's this about?
It's about keeping him sweet until we send him in the summer for 55 million. We need Garnacho at the moment. He's the only one with any pace. He's the only one with any being direct. But I think it's a good way to deal with it. I really, really think it's a good way to deal with it. The fact that all right, he flounced off. It wasn't quite a Rashford moment. I think that's what they wanted to make it out to be. I think there is issues with Garnacho and Amorim. The fact that he was probably going to get sold, he could have got sold in December. But keep him sweet. You know, he's going to buy dinner. He can afford to buy dinner. Let's not get it twisted. Wherever they go, they can afford to go. So, yeah, I think it's a good way of dealing with it. You know, it's been dealt with quickly. You know, what did people expect him to do? Throw a rant and drop it? No, I don't think Garnacho's been that type of guy. But he's definitely showed immaturity, especially in the post that he posted. Obviously, he's posted another one afterwards about congratulating the boys or well done on a win or whatever it was. He should have just straight away and him walking with his
right, Tyrone. What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Well, we can hear like loads of weird noises coming from you because of. Are you using headphones?
No, I'm not. I'm on my phone. Is that why?
Yeah. So just like when you're not speaking, mute the phone.
Oh yeah, that is it. It was Tyrone. I just checked.
Yeah, of course it's Tyrone.
Yeah, there you go. See, so
this amateur.
Yeah, I'm glad it's been dealt with. He was always going to be frustrated for coming off. I mean, we said at the time that Rasmus should have come off. He trains with Rasmus, and probably felt that he shouldn't have been the one coming off. But at the same time, you've got to
suck
show
it up.
Yeah, you know, you've got to show a level of respect to your teammates. You know, so I'm glad it's been dealt with how it's been dealt with. It's like, oh, he's going to take his mates out for a meal. As long as they accept it and he's cool with it, it's no problem. It's if, you know, he's still fuming or you know, or the people or his teammates are still fuming. I mean, we won the game. You know, let's not get it twisted. He made the right substitution. You know, I mean, maybe we might have scored 4 goals if Rasmus had been the one who'd be taken off. We'll never know, but we got the result in the game. So the end game is, you know, we're through. We you know, we got the points. Garnacho, it sounds like they've had the chat. Let's hope, you know. Said Amorim seems to be an upfront guy, but you never know. You know, he could still be talking a little bit of shit, to be fair. But I think it's been sorted. I hope it's been sorted, but I'm convinced Garnacho's gone in the summer anyway.
Well, I mean, he would have gone by all accounts if he could have agreed a salary with Napoli. That appears to be where it broke down. But just before I get to you, Tyrone, I'm just going to look at the comments because I've seen some stuff about food. Simon likes chocolate or treacle pudding. This is better. Sponge cake with fresh strawberries inside and on top. I like those kind of light fruity cakes, I have to agree. That's an awful lot of fish and chips or kebabs, certainly if Luke Shaw's going. Right, prepare yourself, Mr. B, because We Deserve Better is quite partial to a spotted dick.
Not tonight, I've been drinking. Please, We Deserve Better, man.
He knows exactly what he's doing.
I know he knows what he's doing. I'm just going to keep...
Andrew's got some comments about Amorim, but I'm more interested in food at the moment. We'll get back to them. Shout out to you, Bilal. Yale, sounds like you're inside a chicken coop there, Tyrone. Bilal's also watching the under-18s. Apparently, there's a guy for the other team absolutely destroying us, like some 15-year-old or something. Garnacho wanted high wages, and that's why he didn't leave. All right, Tyrone, can we hear your take on this big dinner then, please?
It's not much of a punishment, but...
What? Tyrone? Okay.
It's gonna be one of those nights.
Yeah. All right. I mean, right, I've got a couple of thoughts on this. Number one is, as always, I don't like stuff from the dressing room being leaked. And I don't really think that Amorim should be saying what the punishment is.
Don't you think it was a sort of? It was more trivial, the fact that he's made it. Oh, he's gonna buy his teammates lunch. It made it seem like it wasn't so important. No.
Yeah, but he also he. But the thing is that in the press conference, he said like, what did he say? He said this is a bit like the Rashford situation. I'm going to speak about it next week. He turned it into a big thing, Amrit, in my view. And Tyrone, hello.
Oh, sorry about that. I was just having problems with the phone.
Oh my God, you look riddled with norovirus. How are you? You're right, yeah?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, I'm never going to use the mobile again. It doesn't work.
All right. What are you
What
are you thinking about with this Garnacho buying dinner stuff?
I think that's actually a decent punishment, as long as it's like him and Amorim don't fall out again, like the way he fell out of Rashford. So I'm all for it. Like Mr. B said, keep him sweet until we sell him in the summer.
Yeah, I think one thing that I quite like about it is that I think a lot of heat has been taken off Dorgu by this kind of like overreaction to Garnacho being pissed off that he got subbed for no fault of his own. And I'd just like to know, I know we've heard your thoughts on it, Mr. B, but for me, I thought that Dorgu was 90% responsible for that mess about that led to the first goal. Tyrone, I think that from the comments I saw, you had a similar view. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a red card for sure.
No, I mean for the goal.
For the goal, for the
yeah,
back part.
Because even though Onana shouldn't have come out, if he actually looks up, he can kick it out for a corner. He wasn't aware; he just passed it back blindly. So
yeah, that's kind of my thing, because I don't want to like rehash it, but everyone I think would say that Dorgu was in control of that situation, and Onana just does Onana things and just came randomly running out. But the fact that Dorgu kind of just toe poked it and wasn't aware of the situation suggests to me that he wasn't in control. And I think that I've got to be honest, I like what I've seen from Dorgu, but we need far, far more from him, like in the attacking areas. And I think that Garnacho, like this reaction from Amorim and Garnacho, has really helped Dorgu out, because it's taken the spotlight off a disastrous first half from him, to be honest.
I think the problem with Dorgu, he's not a bad player. I just think he's still getting used to the pace of the Premier League. And I think in that game in particular, he was just a bit nervous. But it wasn't just the nervousness, it was the fact that he just wasn't concentrating for the goal. And then I think it played on his mind later on.
I also think that Philogene, I remember Mr. B, we were talking about him beforehand. Do you remember when I saw the Ipswich team sheet and I said that Philogene was really good like a year and a half ago? He had a couple of dirty challenges on Dorgu. And I think that there's a little bit more afters in that challenge that Dorgu made than people are saying. And I think like when you make a challenge near the touchline, you genuinely want to clear someone out. It's not like in the middle of the pitch. It's near the touchline. Certainly at Old Trafford, where there's a skiing slope like next to the pitch, you can really get in a world of pain on people. And I think that's what Dorgu was doing. But we got to talk to the comments. This is your favourite bit, Mr. B.
As long as you're doing it today.
Yeah. All right. Ty abducted by aliens. I don't know what this means. Andrew, Ruben's got a big mouth. Normally I like that, but not from my manager. I think that's a sex joke. Subvids, hello to you. 3-2. Apparently you're LL Cool J, Tyrone.
Thank you.
Happy with that?
Yeah, I'll take it as a compliment.
He's about 60, isn't he?
A young LL Cool J.
Yeah. I like this. Amorim's better suited starring in a soap opera than being a head coach at United. Pizza Hut will be busy then if Garnacho buys dinner.
So it's a pizza.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, like, I think it would have been a better punishment. Maybe because, like, all of the coaching staff have lost their dinner rights. This is Amran, like, trying to keep them fed and watered. Nah, there was no malice. I probably got this wrong then. This was only Dorgu's third game at a new club, in a new league, in a new country. I agree. I just what I'm saying is I really like the fact that he runs and he's a really good. Well, he's not really good, but from what we've seen, he's pretty good defensively one-on-one. My big issue is that's not enough. Like
it's not, but maybe it's not. But I think he actually takes the whole side. There was times when I was surprised that he was ahead of Garnacho in certain patterns of play. So if that's the kind of, I know you've always talked about physical monsters. If those are the type of players that we're getting, I mean, he controlled the whole of the left side. You know, there was some times when he was in the back five, and there was other times when he was actually ahead of play.
That's what you need from a win.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, yeah, I mean, it's so obviously United have been pissing everybody off, but so I'm not going to say it's just me who hasn't been watching the games, but this is the first game that I've actually seen him play. And all right, he was involved in the mistake for the goal, and he got sent off. But in between that, I was quite impressed with what he did.
My issue with him, right, is I'd say like 80% of what he's doing, which is about 79% more than every other player playing for Manchester United at the moment, to be perfectly honest. But I'm a little bit concerned about how poor his deliveries have been into the box. And I'm willing to mitigate that, not on the basis that he's new to the club, but on the basis of what's in the box. Because Højlund and Xerxes could make David Beckham look like a poor crosser. Do you know what I mean? So I'd love to see him with a competent striker, but I think I can recall 5 crosses he's made, and 2 have gone straight out, and that is a worry for me. Like because we've got a lot. If Dorgo can't cross the ball properly, it's not a huge problem, but it means that we're not going to be anywhere near the top 6 or top 8 next season. We need far more like attacking output from him and from Delo and from Mazraoui.
I don't think we get it from Delo.
Delo is a better crosser of a football than Dorgu from what I've seen so far.
Not from the left?
Yes, from the left.
No, not from the left, because he always cuts back.
He has an assist this season from a left-footed cross, I think.
1 whole assist. How much games has he played?
Probably coming up to 40.
All right, well, there you go. 1 assist in 40 games is fantastic.
That's world class, isn't it?
I think Dorgu can cross, but I think when you're playing with Garnacho, you haven't really got enough chances to like put a ball in because he just doesn't pass.
That's a good point. Garnacho's got to stop using Dorgu as a suicide runner because
it's crazy, isn't it?
Well, I've done that job as a midfielder. Like, you know, in the 4-3-3, when I was, you know, first starting out, I was running and defending channels, basically, in organised football. That's what I was doing. And I didn't mind it. But the thing is that I didn't have anywhere near the defensive responsibilities that Dorgu had. And so the amount of times he's getting ahead of the ball and then isn't being used, and then the attack loses the ball and he's got to recover 40 yards, that, I'm telling you, that leads to punch-ups in the dressing room at some point, because you're just us. It's laziness from Garnacho. Well, it's not laziness; it's indulgence. Sorry,
indulgence.
Yeah, it's indulgence. Yeah, because he's using someone to make space. Absolutely fine,
but he's not.
But then he's cutting inside all the time, and it's like, you need 30 goals a season numbers to be getting away with that, I think.
And that's why I think Amrin took him off.
Yeah, maybe.
That's why I think Amrin took. He's such a selfish player. You know, I'm not going. I think he's such a selfish player that it's like every time he picks up the ball in that position, you already know he's going to try and cut in, and he's not looking for the pass. You know, so as a defender, you already know where he's going. As a teammate, you're thinking, oh, for F's sake, he started again. He's gone again. You know, I think he used Dorgu twice in the last
But when
game.
he does it, but when Garnacho actually passes the ball and doesn't act selfishly, he's actually a decent player. That's why he frustrates me so much.
Yeah, I think he did. I think in his cameo against Everton, he was really good, Garnacho. Like, he wasn't shooting, he was passing. Like, him, Xerxes, and Shido all look good. And he, you know, like, he did have 40 minutes against whoever, Ipswich. And apart from a dive, I can't really remember him doing anything. And at least from Rasmus, you get a bit of running. That's really the minimum, isn't it? All right, let's have a look at the comments. Right, feel free to jump in, Tyrone, on any of these if you want. Still not the perfect start to your new club. Just don't make a habit of it. Bilal, at 20, he'll improve.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Andrew, keep me updated, but try and keep it not completely political, because it is absolutely wild what is going on tonight. It's still 0-0 at Villa Park. Do you know what football team Andrew supports, Tyrone? He's your brother.
Swansea.
Yeah. Do you know who Villa are playing?
I didn't know they were playing Swansea.
They're playing Cardiff.
Oh, Cardiff. Okay.
Yeah, big rivals.
I love Cardiff.
You love Cardiff, do you?
Well, I like to visit Cardiff. The people there are quite nice. I've been to Swansea as well once as well.
Did you get attacked by a ginger fat man eating a trifle?
No, luckily no.
All right. Well, you need to watch out for them. Matty, hello. Use Dorgu crossing to. Yes, that is a point, Matty, that I made. Maybe you missed it. Is that it's difficult to kind of, you know, gauge attacking play, because I mean, movement is dreadful. I watched an 8-minute video of Cavani this week, all his goals for Manchester United, and it was torture watching it, seeing a proper striker like attacking space, the footwork to get there. Oh God, we never knew how good we had it.
He was so good for us.
Do you know, genuinely, I'm very tempted to put him in my favourite Manchester United number 7s of all time, because I love that team so much, the COVID team, and he was fantastic in that.
But
team.
you know when Cavani was at PSG, I never wanted him at United because I thought, you know what, he's not that clinical, because he used to miss some easy chances. But when he came to United, I thought, wow, you really saw how good he actually is with the movement.
It was Champions League, wasn't it? Him and Higuain used to miss a lot. I've always thought that Mbappe owes a huge debt to Cavani, because Mbappe's like comfort finish is the near post, and Cavani is a near post finisher all the time. Yeah. And I think that he must have learned stuff off him. And I also remember, was it Tuanzebe who locked up Neymar and Mbappe against PSG?
Yeah, it was.
Do you remember? Like, Cavani couldn't speak English, but I remember a clip going around of Cavani in training just rambling in Spanish at Tuanzebe the like 2 days before we played them. And then there's that time we played against Roma where Greenwood was getting beaten up by a couple of big Italians, and Cavani just came across, bow and arrow, shoved them all out the way. I loved him, and it's such a shame that he kind of just stopped caring about the club towards the end. He just wanted his move. He's probably, I think, post Sir Alex, he's probably like my kind of cult hero signing, Cavani.
You know, the one that really disappointed me, and people won't agree with me in the comments.
Falcao.
No, the one that really hurt me when we lost him was Di Maria. I just wish he could have loved Manchester more, because he was brilliant.
Yeah.
Such a brilliant footballer.
I mean, it's weird. Di Maria, when we signed him, I thought, oh my God, like we've bought like the player.
Yeah.
You know, he scored. I remember he scored I don't remember my memory.
Is it Leicester?
Is that the chip?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And I just thought, Jesus Christ, look what we've got. And then it just went downhill. Then you heard his wife moaning.
But I
Him-
think
he got robbed.
LBG was he got robbed. Yeah,
Like
but-
his family got tied up.
Did he get robbed? Was it?
No, he
was
was
it
playing a
Varane?
Champions League game, and his family got tied up, and his valuables taken, and things.
I thought it was Varane. Did
Varane?
Varane get robbed?
No. I
Varane
think
get
that was.
robbed
I think that was
at Chelsea?
Lindelof. I think that happened to Lindelof.
It's happened to loads of them. Like
Di
there's a
Maria,
gang.
yeah.
There's a gang that goes around Audley Edge. Used to happen to Liverpool players as well.
I mean, you could understand it from, we're always going to dig it out, and you say, but you could understand from a personal point of view. You've moved to a new country, and you've been robbed, and your family was in the house. I mean, there's a lot of things that, you don't need to be here. So, I said, maybe.
Sorry to interrupt, but I watched a documentary on Di Maria, and the main reason it didn't work in Manchester was he said LBG was a nightmare to work with. So it wasn't so much the club. I think it was LBG really.
Yeah, I've got big issues with LVG. I think he is where the decline of Manchester United starts because of all he gutted professionals, like youth people who understood the club. He gutted them out. Yeah, Welbeck, the Sunshine Twins, Raphael and Fabio. Like I think O'Shea left. He definitely made Giggs retire. Yeah, like obviously Rooney and things were on the way out, but I felt that he cut us off from our culture, and we've been paying for it ever since.
He's got too much of an ego. That guy, he had too much of an ego. Thinks he knows everything.
I don't mind a manager having a big ego at the club. I just felt he was a bit clownish, Tyrone. Like, do you remember where he threw himself on the floor, in a game, and then been hammered at at the end of season dinner, calling Chris Smalling Mike. There's just a bit too much buffoonery to him for me. But anyway,
he called him what? Did he actually did it on purpose? I mean,
Mike Smalling, he was called.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but he did it right next to him.
Yeah, it makes it even worse.
Conference. And it's like Bobby Robson used to do this, but Bobby Robson was
senile. Yeah, we knew that.
Yeah. All right. Dorgu has been better than Diogo. Maybe. Dorgu missed out on Fulham. He's not missing out Real Sociedad and Arsenal. You don't miss out European games.
Sorry. So what games does he miss?
He's missing Fulham, Arsenal, and is it Leicester?
It's the Arsenal one, man. Arsenal are there for the clipping, bro. You know what I mean? I'd like to have seen him play. Yeah, you know what? We won the last game. I'm in that positive mode at the moment. Don't ruin it until Sunday, please.
All right. Quack quack from Stumpy Candletop. I hope that you're doing well, my speckled friend. He won't miss Sociedad. Cavani, class. We said better like Garnacho, and I need Amrim starting in more matches without hooking him before half time. And obviously, Matty, you're so biased about Gyökeres. It's not happening, my friend. He wants Champions League football. He's not coming to Manchester United unless you get on the phone and remind him of your training sessions. Do you know this, Tyrone, that Matty played a couple of games with Gyökeres?
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he trained with him when Gyökeres was at Coventry. Isn't that crazy?
It is, yeah. I didn't know what level Matty played at, so I didn't know that.
Asensio has scored for Villa, so Andrew is very happy. Oh, Rashford assist.
Oh, God.
Good for him. Apparently, Rashford wants to make the Villa move permanent, which is...
If that's true, that is good. So I hope he does go permanently. He deserves it.
I will take that. I'll tell you what, though. I'm gonna be honest, right? Rashford in a Villa shirt is killing me. Rashford smiling in a Villa shirt is killing me. I know, it's not a common view.
McTominay in a Napoli shirt, man.
Well, look, I don't have that feeling with McTominay, but it's breaking me.
Really?
Honestly, yeah, bruv. Listen, I've always liked Rashford. I mean, when I started the channel, I said if Rashford ever gets sold, I'm not gonna do the channel anymore, innit?
Okay.
But like, obviously, you know, that's chat and you do it, but it's killing me. My cousin and my brother are Villa supporters, and it's breaking my heart to see him smiling in a shirt that's not ours. You know, it's I don't know. When he was here, I was cussing him. Oh,
Yeah.
Rashi needs to do this, but seeing him away, man, it is fucking killing me, Tyrone. Honestly, it is burning me so much. I'm just waiting for him to score that goal, and then
he's like the black sheep in the family, isn't he? Like the kind of slightly wayward youngster that you just hope is going to get it all together and come back to the fold.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
No,
I have to. I have to accept that Rashford is not coming. As shit as he was, as much as he ran down blind alleys, like my son's got 2 Rashford shirts, you know, and he says he doesn't support Man United, he supports Juve, you know. So that's the level of, and it burns.
Terrible parenting.
It burns. And I don't know when that pain's gonna go.
I think he'll come back one day. Like,
I think if it was an Arsenal, it would hurt me. If it was Arsenal, I could.
Oh my God, Welbeck, Tyrone, it broke my heart.
Yeah,
like it broke me. I loved Danny Welbeck.
He was brilliant for us. I don't know why they got rid of him. He was so good for United. Welbeck.
It's Louis van Gaal.
Yeah,
like I mean, even now you see Welbeck like playing, and he was such a good player. I remember
he'd be our best striker if he came back. That's how crazy it is. He'd be our best.
To be honest, Rooney would be our best striker if he came back. I reckon that I would be all right up there.
Yeah. Now, for me, it's not killing me seeing Rashford doing well at Villa. In fact, I'm actually glad that he's smiling because he just looked miserable at United. Let's be honest, he just wasn't happy.
Yeah, but it's all his own fault, in my view.
Yeah,
exactly. He had everything, and like we often talk about, like David Beckham, like when he came back from the World Cup, and also remember the season before we'd given up. It was either 12 or 13 points to Arsenal, so everyone had a reason not to be happy with that team, and they responded by winning the effing treble, which is what a proper squad does. Arsenal fans. But everyone rallied behind Becks. And when Rashford missed that penalty and some people sent some nasty messages to him, they went and decorated that mural in, I can't remember where it was, but it's somewhere in the south of Manchester. And he had the support. It was Wythenshawe, yeah.
Wythenshawe, yeah.
But he had the support of the fans. He had the love of everyone. And I don't think he paid people back for that kind of, I don't want it to sound transactional, but I felt he kind of let us down a little bit with his performances after that, and he's obviously not happy. But that's kind of on him, I feel, rather than us. So
and in that tournament, he didn't even have to, because he had. Sorry to interrupt, but even though he had an injury, he could have even sat that tournament out. He shouldn't have even been playing, really. But
no. It's a home tournament where you've got a good chance of winning. No one in the world is turning that down. Like, I'm okay.
I blame Southgate for bringing him on for the penalties without playing him. That's his fault. That's on him.
So it's a bath time. You just said that. You just made that comment. Is that the same with Luke Shaw? Yeah, I was going to say. I know, obviously, it was an obvious one.
Differences. It's not just the fact that it's a home tournament. It's that Shaw didn't really play for that season, and he should have kind of paid the club back that looked after him after his broken leg and stuff. But with Rashford as an attacker, like to go to a home tournament and things like that, I know as a United fan, we don't want that. You know, like we want him at home, you know, watching Peaky Blinders or something. But I would do the same. If I were Rashford, I'd have done exactly the same. I'm not sure if I'd have done the same if I were Luke Shaw. Like, I think we can all understand Luke Shaw's decision, like to go and play, you know, for England in the finals. But I don't know if I'd have done it myself. You owe your club first.
I hate him.
Yeah,
I hate him. I hate him.
So you hate Shaw and you hate Rasmus. You don't like tall blonde boys, do you, Mr.
No,
B?
listen, it's got nothing to do with being tall and blonde, mate. I will never forgive him for getting himself available for one game and not being able to play for us. England don't pay his wages. I think it's a total disrespect. I think Southgate's a wanker for picking him because he knew Shaw was going to go there anyway. I just think it's a disgrace. I just think it's an absolute fucking disgrace what he's done.
Yeah,
and he's not going to play for us for the rest of the season, you know. And then we can't sell him because of what? Why can't we sell him? Human rights? Is that what we're going to be talking about here? You know, fuck him off. He ain't played for us for a year. He went to go and train for England for 4 weeks, knowing that he wasn't playing. Ten Hag came on and said he doesn't think he's going to be playing before whatever 2 rounds before everybody else was saying he was going to play. And then he came on, done fuck all. They got knocked, and he hasn't kicked a ball for us. Nah, man, I don't have time.
Played in December.
Ooh, how long did he play?
Did he get 60 minutes?
Okay,
5
60 minutes.
5 minutes.
Whatever he got. I think he's a selfish wanker. I'm sorry.
I think his card is marked with Ineos. I can remember do you remember that in the summer where they were showing all these good luck messages, and then Ratcliffe pops up and goes, "Yeah, good luck, England. By the way, Luke Shaw, please don't pull your hamstring." And then Luke Shaw goes and pulls his hamstring. I just look. Luke Shaw is not our future, is he?
I remember when Luke Shaw came out and said, "Oh, it's such a nice environment playing for England." Basically saying playing for United, he hates it. Well, just go then, innit? Like, why are you still in it? If you don't like playing for United, you don't like the atmosphere. Piss off, like Mr. B says.
Well, we've got to stop paying people stupid money. It's the answer, really. We've got to get our house in order. Right. We're going to move on to something else now, which I'm quite looking forward to, but I have to give you boys a disclaimer. In the title, you'll see it says Afcon controversy. One of our orbiters is a guy called Keane, who is from Africa. I told him that we were going to discuss this show earlier, and I thought it would only be fair to him to show him the notes that I had made on Afcon. He went through the fucking roof at the notes I made and said that it was outrageous. He can't come on this evening. So we're probably going to save it to the international break because, honestly, man, he's so up for talking about this. If he does pop into chat, he's called Overhead Kick TV or something. Can you all just start typing Afcon, load of rubbish? We don't need Afcon, things like that. All right, just for fun. But we're probably not going to talk about Afcon. But what we are going to talk about is something else, which is that on the overlap, Keane really, really lost it over Bruno and had a big fight with Ian Wright. So I'm going to start this off by saying that Roy Keane was correct in his comments, and I want to see who disagrees with me. Should I remind people of his comments?
Please. Oh, yes, and then you can tell me why you agree with his comments.
Okay, so first of all, he criticised Fernandez's leadership, and then he said talent is not enough for a club like Manchester United. You need the work rate.
True.
When people said that Fernandez was saving the team, he said they're 15th in the league. What's he saving them from? He said the players are effing imposters, and that for a captain, you want them to inspire young players. You want someone who says, lads, are you with me? He then highlighted Tony Adams, saying that leadership is about action, not just talent, and that you have to have a foundation to be a captain, that Bruno possesses talent, but that's it, and it's not enough. So those are his paraphrased quotes. So I'm going to start off by saying, actually, I tell you what, I'm going to do the comments first, and then we'll get into it. But I'm going to start by saying Keane is correct, and I want you to either agree or disagree with that statement and give me reasons why. Yeah? Tyrone, you understand?
Yeah, I
You,
understand.
you doing comments first, yeah?
I'm doing the comments first. You've got a bit of time to kind of go through it. See,
Okay,
this is a
just
properly presented show, Mr. B.
stop my cussing. It's all right. I'm going to
Yeah.
stuck all the swear words in on this one.
There's a lot of parliamentary procedure here.
Yes. Right, Andrew has no interest in any of these things. I agree with you. Afcon is right. Look, that's fine. When Canny comes on, don't put that. Right, we've said better. No, you've got an issue with Canny. I can give you the email address because we do take these accusations like seriously. Can you talk to me about this? Because I know Canny. I've known him for a long time, and I just think you're wrong on this. But I'm willing to hear you out. Andrew, oh, yeah, of course. You know where Andrew's going to start. Yeah, the notes are really bad. Yeah, they. Should we distinguish that leaders and captains are not the same? Mitesh, my man, that's an extremely good point that hopefully the boys might be taking on board. Get in. We just beat Arsenal. We won 3-2 under 18s. Wrong time to come out with a comment like Keane did. United won the game. No room for garbage from a legend then. Had we lost 20-0, I would have agreed. 15th in the league, Yarley. I miss the whole Keane rant. To be honest, I'm over whatever Keane says these days. It's tired. All right, that's where the comments stand. Right. Tyrone, we'll start with you. Where do you stand?
I think Bruno Fernandes is a fantastic player for United. He's always got us out of difficult situations. Do I think he's like a captain for United? Probably not. Was Keane right in some of the Was Keane right in some of the things he said? Perhaps he was, but I'm playing devil's advocate because when Keane joined United, he was in a good team with good players around him. The circumstances that Bruno Fernandes is in aren't the same. So I think all these ex-United players going in on United players, it can be a bit unfair sometimes because the club's riddled with debt. We're not in a good place financially. It's a completely different situation. So that's where I stand on it, really.
Okay, so to summarize what you're saying is you think Bruno Fernandes is a fantastic captain for Manchester United because he gets us out of...
No, he's a good player. He's a good player.
Okay, good captain. But not a good captain.
No.
And it's unfair for players like Keane, Neville, etc., to go in on the team because the situation is different and they never had to deal with debt.
No, it's not just the debt. Like, we haven't got a good team set up. Manchester United was in a good place to succeed and win titles. This team's not in that place. The squad's completely different. It's nowhere near as good as the old squad.
Okay. Mr. B.
I like Bruno. I do cuss him and sometimes, but I think Bruno gives his all. Yeah, he's not the same captain as Roy Keane, who dragged players by the lapels, but maybe he deals with his captaincy differently. Nobody knows what he does behind the scenes. I'm not saying he's a great captain. There was nobody else to be captain. We were hearing that players were turning down the captaincy role. Rashford had been there, so maybe he was the only one who accepted it. But you look at the team now and think, who else could be captain of the team? Maguire took it and he fell off a fucking cliff for 2.5 years. It's now taken him all of this time where he doesn't have the responsibility of being captain, where he's playing okay. I'm not going to go into a Monday mode and be creaming my pants about him. He's doing okay, but he can be replaced. Who else in the team? People talk about Martinez. Martinez is never fit. Who else could be captain?
Lindelof.
Who else could have been captain? Fuck Lindelof, man.
He's captain of Sweden.
Oh, gives a fuck. He can't be captain of United when he couldn't even get into the first team, bro. If you want a first team player to be captain.
Well, yeah, but he was when Bruno was given the captaincy, it was between
Would you have given the captaincy to Lindelof?
No, I wouldn't. But
there you go.
But he would have been someone I considered because he's the captain of his national team. And I remember when Ollie was in charge, someone I can't remember who it was. It might have been my dad. Pointed out to me that a lot of the players that we were linked to were captains of their club or of international sides, and he felt that it was about that there was a lack of proper characters in the team, and that was something that Ollie was trying to address with players like Declan Rice, who's club captain of West Ham or England under-21s or something. Jack Grealish was Aston Villa captain, bizarrely. But yeah, it still stands true. Got some more comments here, which is Bruno's an overpaid fraud, captain, the worst team we've had in 40 years. Proof in the pudding is in the eating.
Just Andrew, obviously people who are disagreeing with Bruno being captain. Who out of the squad would you have had as captain? Just put that in afterwards for me, just so I can kind of gauge where people are going with that. Sorry, Bath time to cut you off.
I would have considered McTominay, to be perfectly honest, because he was given the captaincy under Ten Hag over De Gea a couple of times. You know, when Bruno was suspended at Anfield last season, McTominay was given the captaincy. I don't know if that's a reward for McTominay being a good boy, like in training and things, or if he is a leader or something. But regardless of what you think about him as a footballer, he definitely had the right standards and attitude and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I think to be a Man United captain, having the right attitude and standards isn't enough. You've got to be a terrific footballer as well. I don't think McTominay, in terms of talent, is up there. Obviously, he had the right attitude. Don't get me wrong. I'll never question that. And now that he's gone, I'm starting to understand what we're missing. I never thought I'd say that, but yeah.
Don't worry, Tyrone. A lot of people do. We'd have better. I've seen your comment here. Please, can you email it to me, because I don't want to discuss this in public. But as always, like, we are against homophobia, racism, Islamophobia, to be honest, I'm also against transfers and accountancy. I just want to discuss football, and football is a game for everyone. And we're never going to have anyone on who doesn't believe that football should be for everyone. I would prefer Bruno as captain over Maguire. Why is the sole focus on Bruno? I can answer that, Matty. I'll just do the comments and I'll give my take on this. Yeah, best chance creator. If Keane played today, he would have been cancelled. When Keane was playing, he was cancelled. He got a 250k fine. Like, can you imagine? Have you read what we've been saying about Rasmus Maguire? I haven't, Andrew. Lindelof trolling it? It's not trolling, Mitesh. He is a captain. He is the captain of Sweden. Bruno gets a lot of flack unjustly. I'm not saying other players don't get criticised, but Bruno gets more than the other players. Richard Hawkins with Dennis Law and Bestie there. So, guys, we beat Arsenal in the FA under-18 quarter-final tonight, and Jack Fletcher scored an outstanding goal. Do you know what? Despite how crap the first team are, the ladies and the youth seem to be doing really well. So, do you think
that's a pressure thing? Bath time.
No, I just think that they're like. I think that our squad is absolutely ridiculous. Like, I think that the atmosphere is bad around it. You're getting a bunch of kids who love football and stuff like that, and are completely supported, like going out and doing really well with a good system and a good understanding. And no, maybe it could be about, yeah, actually, maybe you're right, because we got a protest against Arsenal being organised. You know, like, we saw people getting booed. Rashford got booed earlier on in the season during a game, not at half time, during a game, directed at him. Stuart Marshall is talking about fighting in the stands and stuff. Maybe it is the pressure and just the air of doom and gloom around the club.
I mean, surely, Bath time, as a professional footballer, I understand workplaces are different. Your workplace, you might have had a different opinion of it before you started. Welcome, Richard Herbert, to the channel.
Richard Hawkins.
Sorry, Richard Hawkins. Sorry. My glasses are fucked and I've been drinking. Sorry. Apologies.
And he can't read.
Yeah, and I can't read. And I've completely forgotten my train of thought. Shit, what were we just talking about, Bath time?
I don't know. Should I finish the comments while you do it?
Yeah, it might come back to me. Shit.
Big up Richard Hawkins, actually, because sorry to interrupt, but I was speaking to him a few weeks ago in the chat, and he sat and had a drink with George Best, which was pretty cool to hear.
See
Oh,
what I'm
that
saying?
is cool to hear. He's a
That's what I'm
Herbert. Isn't he?
saying, man.
Yeah.
That's so
What
cool,
I want
man.
to say is that I'm delighted that you support the channel with the membership. But to be perfectly honest, you don't need to. We'll read your comment out and we'll say hello to you.
All
Like,
the time, all the
yeah.
time. So apologies for that $1.99 that will come out, or that $2.99. But after that, no stress, man. Just come on and join the fun.
Yeah, because the other thing is I don't want to make members content. Like, you know, like I don't want to give
bath
any
time,
rewards.
you're such a bitch.
I know.
You know, maybe it's them just wanting to buy us a coffee. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Maybe it's that. You know, but yeah, no, I get it.
But remember, the Super Chat Fund is eventually going to be used to buy me a robot that I'm going to send to Swansea to hunt down Andrew.
He just said he's a Herbert. Sorry.
Yeah. Axel Twanzebe back in 2021. I don't know if he was captain material, was he?
I did like him though before he got injured. Thought he was a good player.
Yeah, he was all right. I mean, this is why I really wanted Trevor Chalobah to sign for Manchester United, because he's been a captain at every single level and is a really good player. And he was there for 25 million.
He's so underrated, Trevor Chalobah, isn't he? He's such a good player. I've never seen him.
I'd have taken him and Gallagher, to be honest.
Yeah, I would have took them both as well.
Like, if we're getting rid of McTominay, getting Gallagher. They're essentially the same player.
Yeah.
Would have been fine for me. But McTominay was a leader, but we do not have leaders in the team. Where is our Bill Folkes? Where is our Brian Robson? I'm sorry, I'm in a loop about a song about where have all the Cowboys gone at the moment. Shall we sell someone like Mainu or Yoro? Oh, should we give it to someone like Mainu or Yoro? Fernando Torres was Athletic captain at 19. Blimey.
God, can you imagine?
Blimey.
Fernando Torres was a phenomenon at that time. He's brilliant back then.
Well, I mean, Duncan Edwards was captain, wasn't he?
At 21.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Euro being Man United captain?
No. And can you imagine Garnacho being Manchester United captain?
The only captain we've got in there is the two that we've had, Maguire and Bruno. I just don't think he's going to be gone. He's going to be gone.
Oh, right, okay.
I think Matthias de Ligt would be a good captain eventually.
I love de Ligt, but I know
like him.
There's a lot of hatred. There's a lot of hate going on.
I don't like de Ligt.
See, there you go. I mean, there's three of us on the channel, and 1/3 of us don't like him. I mean, football is such a strange game.
Also, right? I don't think a captain needs to play. Let me finish the comments so we can actually discuss these things. But these people have typed out stuff on a Friday night, and they should be heard. No one player in the last 10 years has been consistently good enough to have the captaincy for more than 1 year. I think De Gea and Ashley Young put in at least 3 really, really good seasons and were captain material. I know a lot of people have issues about a goalkeeper being captain, but Ashley Young, I think, was a good captain. Okay, so George Best and Bill Folkes, 1972, the Europa Hotel in Belfast. Wow, that's so cool, isn't it?
I mean, it's strange, isn't it? You know, like life, innit? That's the year I was born, but he was out having a drink.
That says
you know
1972.
Yeah, that's when I was born. What, you taking a piss?
Yes, I'm making it sound like I meant 1872.
No, I'm gonna drive all the way to you, bath time. I tell you, we still don't have enough money yet, but don't worry, I'll send that.
Imagine if that's what the Super Chat Fund is used for. You to come and beat me up. First class. Yeah, it is crazy. Have you, like Mr. B, I mean, obviously you've got that connection with Mitchell at Palace, but have you ever run into any United players?
When they used to play at Wembley, I used to live in Wembley. One of the years we saw them coming out of the train station at Wembley Central. So I have no idea how they would have got to the stadium from Wembley Central. maybe there was a coach outside, but we saw Giggs and Ince, and I swear that was like my moment in it. That was like my heaven moment. I was in total. At that age.
Did you say anything to them? Did you ask them?
Not a word. Not a fucking word. I stood up there like a prick. But you know what? It's fine. There was a lot of pricks standing up watching them walking past. I wasn't the only one. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just the levels that they have in it and the levels that they bring to us. I mean, I play football, and you just wish that you wish that you could have played at a high level. And you see these, they're just regular walking down Wembley Central. I mean, that's 5 minutes. Wembley Central's 4 minutes from where I used to live. And you think, oh my God. So yeah, that was the only time that I've ever met, I've
met a few footballers. They're just normal. They're just like being you, though. That's how I treat people. I just treat them like normal, really. I don't get starstruck.
Who have you met then?
One time I was at the Shard, I bumped into Quinton Fortune.
I loved Quinton Fortune as a player.
He was such a humble guy.
He's our best African player, in my opinion.
Yeah. Robbie Fowler, John Barnes. I think John Barnes was at Tooting Common once a few years ago.
What about Robbie? What was Robbie Fowler like?
This is when I was quite young, in my early 20s. I was working at Top Shop, Oxford Street. I used to bump into a lot of celebrities there, but he just asked me where something was, and I just pointed it out to him. That was all it was.
Okay.
It's quite short though. I was like, right, he's not tall at all, Robbie Fowler.
Yeah, he's like 5'10", isn't he?
Yeah.
The amazing leap on him though, Robbie Fowler.
Yeah, he was a brilliant finisher.
That's tall for me. Get lost.
Yeah, but not for a professional football player. You're an Angel Gomez, man.
Should I tell you who was a unit? Balotelli. I thought, bloody hell, he looked like he looked like a boxer. I couldn't believe how tonky he was. Yeah.
The one that really surprised me is I used to live in Manchester. I spent a year there at university. And I used to see quite a lot of the footballers. And for some reason, I ran into Nick Anelka. And the way he moved was fascinating. It's like he was just so sort of lanky and fluid, just like bobbing along the street and stuff. And I think I saw Fabian Barthez as well once, but it could have just been a bold guy. I used to meet a lot of footballers in Chile. I met pretty much all of them out there. And what was great is that, as Mr. B said, they were all quite small. So I really enjoyed it. But anyway, we've got to do comments, not who have we met. Mitesh Chabala is a very, very good player. Very, very good player. He's Chelsea's best defender by
He's underrated.
A country mile.
He's underrated. They're killing him.
He's a good player. I'll take him at United all day, every day. I've never known him to have a bad game. Seriously, he always puts in a 7 out of 10.
Wow.
I'm very surprised, Mitesh. I know on this channel I sometimes flag up players and I get crucified for it. But Chalobah is one of the few that I've been banging the drum about for years, and no one has said he's a bad player. He's captained England at every level, from under 15 to under 21. He's exactly who we need in the squad. He'd have been a far better signing than Matthijs de Ligt, to be perfectly honest. I mean, you're a big de Ligt fan, Tyrone. Would you agree with that?
No, so I like de Ligt, but I can take Chalobah as well.
All right, both of them.
Yeah.
Duncan was captain. He was. De Ligt going forward. Casemiro and de Ligt captains for me. I think, Mitesh, what we're talking about is going into the future. So it'd just be de Ligt, I would imagine. But this, Ugarte for captain. Andrew once had a trifle with Robbie Savage and Vinnie Jones.
That would have been interesting.
We deserve better, Mr. B, our birthday buddies. John Hartson used to own my local pub. My sister was in a lift with John Hartson once and said he smelled terrible. Valencia was at one stage captain. He was. Simon's off. Good night, Simon. Shout out to Midwestern Propensity. I hope that you make it. A super chat for Bath Time to get himself an Ugarte tattoo. That is tantamount to vandalism, and I will not be doing that. What have we got here? Oh, a long story. Okay. My father turned out to be my grandfather. All right, I'm Catholic. I know where that comes from. Did not drink. He saved all his money and took me to United in 1966.
Wow.
He took me to the 68 Cup final. Wicked.
Wow.
Shout out to granddad/dad. Both Jimmy Somerville and Dale Winton tried to pick me up. They weren't successful. Yeah.
They obviously didn't have spotted dicks today. We deserve better, huh?
Oh dear. I always remember there was a fake story put out in Hello magazine about Dale Winton getting married to Nell McAndrew. And Graham Souness was his best man. And then it turned out Graham Souness and Dale Winton are like really good mates, which I just never would have expected. But as always, we deserve better. That's outrageous. So funny. Chalobah is a bad player. Shut up. All right. Right. Okay, listen up. Bruno's captain. I quite like a lot of the comments that Keane has made because I think the problem is people are getting stuck in first order thinking, and they should be looking at like the second order, which is that Bruno is a talented player who's pulled us out of the fire so many times. He is our best chance of scoring goals. You can see the difference he makes, like when he goes deeper as opposed to when he plays at the 10. He's, for all his faults, he's our best player. I think what Keane is talking about is that there is like is that his leadership isn't good enough because players on the pitch are getting away with stuff that no captain should let them get away with. Like I saw against who did we play? Ipswich. I saw Rasmus not tracking a runner into the channel and it getting fizzed across the box, and Delap was quite close to getting a tap in. Rasmus should have been hauled over the coals for doing that because it's not hard. You just run with the channel runner. That's all you need to do. And I think that this is what Keane is talking about, is there's no accountability at the club. Like what happened to Rashford when he pissed about in Belfast? Was Bruno at him, whinging, telling him not to do that? Where are the standards in training? I think that this is what Keane is talking about, is that everything that we see going wrong on the pitch, the manager and the captain are the two people that should be most responsible for changing that. The manager by picking them, but the captain by applying those standards, by showing that he's doing it all the time and then getting on at the players to do it. And when I see Bruno whinging, complaining, shouting, all that kind of stuff, I kind of understand what Keane's going on about, because like Mr. B's a manager. I've been a captain, to be honest, for quite a lot of the time I played football. And the thing is that you don't always have to be a chest beater. You don't have to be out there blood and guts and things like that. But you have to do the hard stuff and the basics and set an example of running, of tracking back, of always being disciplined. And I think that that's what Keane is getting at. And I 100% support it because, you know, you talk about Maguire being a good captain. When Greenwood went to England and got done with Foden for like texting girls and breaking curfew and things like that, Maguire should have been on him. Like maybe it could have prevented unfortunate things that happened in the future. Rashford, Bruno should have been all over that. And when you see players who are coasting in games, not working hard enough, I think that Bruno is actually, because he's taken on the mantle of captain, he is somewhat responsible for it. And that's my take on Bruno, on Keane's comments.
Can I have my take on it?
No.
Thank you. I'm going to talk anyway.
Yeah, fair enough.
Bruno's been... If Bruno doesn't play, we're a complete mess. The 4 games that he didn't play towards the end of last season, we didn't create anything. yeah, Bruno doesn't have the Keane authority, but he's been our best player. Regardless, yeah, he pisses us off. He will give the ball away, 30 times a game. But he's still the one out there trying and pushing to do something. Yes, he does too much at times, but maybe because he feels that the players around him can't do nothing. The other day, I saw him taking the ball off. I saw him taking the ball off the defenders.
Oh my God!
You don't need to be there doing that. But
I mean,
maybe it's the fact that he doesn't trust a lot of the players in the team. He always gives 100%. Yes, he flails his arms and he acts like, and a lot of people don't like that. But maybe that's his way of getting his frustration out with the trash that he's playing with. Yeah, I don't agree with the arms failing, and I don't agree with the fact that he falls on the floor a lot, and he's always
modern football though.
But bath time, you've said it there. That is modern football. Back in the day when Vinnie Jones was bloody tackling Roy Keane on his knees, and Roy Keane would just get up and roll. That doesn't happen no more. You understand? These Gen Z or Gen X or whatever they are, they're all a bunch
generally
of
shit.
Yeah, you can't talk to them, as Ten Hag said, because you have HR on them. You know what I mean? You can't tackle them because football's now turned into a non-contact sport. Do you know what I mean? Man up and understand what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah, there's nobody else in the team. We gave it to Maguire, who Yaba was over the moon with, but we saw what his form did. I don't think it's affected his form on the pitch, to be fair. They say he's the highest chance creator. Well, if he's creating all these chances, who the fuck is missing them for us? These are the things that we need to be looking at. They talk about his levels on De Bruyne creation. That's all well and good. But we've got Beer Benfoots in the team who can't even hit the back of the net. So maybe he's getting frustrated and feels that he has to do everything himself. I will cuss Bruno in games that he plays, but for what he's given to United, I would never cuss Bruno for the effort that he's given to United.
Right, can we address some of these points? Go on, Tyrone.
Now, my problem with Keane is there seems to be no empathy for how the situation Bruno's in. Because if Keane was in that team, but if Keane was in that team, Keane wouldn't make a difference. If you took one of the legends like Giggs, Scholes, any of them one players and put them in this team, they would all struggle.
I actually agree with that. What one player changes that squad? Go on then. What one player you put in that changes?
No. That's not what that's not the point I'm disagreeing with. Point I'm disagreeing with is that I think putting Keane in the squad does change it because of his leadership and training. Training is the thing, is that you demonstrate the levels, the commitment and stuff like that. And Keane, he had to grow into it at United. Like when he came, he played the same position I used to play. It was box to box, not getting involved in the ball, just like defending channels, tap-ins, stuff like that. And then he became a better player and stuff, but he asked far more of the people around him. And this is the thing, right, is that I think people are conflating the fact that Bruno is evidently our best player and the team suffer without him. And I don't think that is the point that Keane is making. I think the point he's making, and the point that I'm going to make, to be sure, is that I agree with Mr. B. I think that Bruno was an absolute disaster positionally in the last game. Doesn't trust any player. With him in the team, you're playing relegation football because he won't stay in a central position and allow you to play through the block. Now, that might be because I don't understand these bloody two-man midfields, but with him going to centre-back and going into a three-back formation, you're putting Matthias de Ligt like at right half. What's he going to do at right half? Bruno, get in the middle of the pitch, get behind and between, pin a couple of players, play through the block, or suck players in and hit them over the top. But he's just floating about. And I think that that's poor myself. Like, if that's the game plan, fine. That's poor on Amarin, but it's poor from someone. But the thing is what Keane is talking about is that the lack of standards at the football club is the issue. And Bruno as captain is responsible for them.
So what's the
Keane-
standards? What do you mean? What does you think he means by standards? What, the fact that they're not winning every week?
No. Okay, let's call it like the details. Like the standards are going 100%. So one of Keane's big things is he said that players were like mugging off, were just pretending to close down, that they were making a show of it. They weren't doing it properly. I completely agree with him there.
Yeah,
I see lots of them doing it. And the point that I think is that Keane thinks that Bruno should be the one at them to tell them to stop doing this, like to actually go and play like you mean it.
Yeah, but he does. To be fair, Bruno. Sorry to cut you, Tyrone.
No, go on.
Have you seen Bruno when he presses and he's out of position?
Once again, this is first order thinking. This is just observing Bruno as a player and not his effect on the team. It's not about what Bruno is doing as a player. Obviously, we've got criticisms of Bruno, but I'll give you an example. At the end of the game against Ipswich, we were trying to get the ball in the box with 5 minutes to go, a 1-0 lead against 10 men. Bruno should have been saying, we are playing this. We're just keeping the ball now until the whistle goes. That's what I just can't see how you wouldn't do that. And it's an example of Bruno not being emotionally mature enough to be a captain, which I don't think is a crazy point. I think we all agree he's not. Would you say he's not emotionally mature enough to be the captain?
Yeah, I get that.
Okay.
Is that his temperament though? Bath time. Sorry, do you think that's his temperament in regards to?
It doesn't matter what it is. It's the result that is the important thing, right? But it is his temperament. And the second thing is that it's not just what Bruno is doing; it's what his teammates are doing, and the fact that he should be stopping his teammates doing that. So when Rashford isn't working hard enough, Keane, as the captain, would be on the pitch saying, Rashford, it's 3 yards, go and close him down. Bruno's not doing that. Or if he is, no one's listening to him.
I've seen Bruno. I've seen Bruno berate his teammates all the time now, tell them to do that. I've seen it.
Well, the one that comes to my mind, Tyrone, is Casemiro in the final against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Casemiro going mental at Bruno during the game and after the whistle for pissing about in the last 5 minutes rather than seeing the game out.
Okay.
And that is what I think Keane is talking about, is that it's got to be stuff like that. And look, I know that in the age we live in, we're just a bunch of idiots that are on a YouTube channel and we can't compete with what Roy Keane says. And so people are going to make arguments up about why you shouldn't listen to Roy Keane. But I do think you need to listen to Roy Keane. I do think you need to listen to Brian Robson and to Gary Neville and all the great captains we've had. And I think that, I think that Maguire and Bruno have been the captains of two of the worst United teams that I've seen, and that they should be taking responsibility for that.
But is that
they're meant to be the leaders?
Because they don't buy the players. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're meant to lead them.
Okay, so
I think the difference is when Keane came to United, he had people like Brian Robson to learn from, Steve Bruce. Who else? He had
Stuart Pearce at Nottingham Forest. He had Nigel Clough and Ferguson as his managers.
Eric Cantona. Bruno's coming. Who was a senior player above Bruno who he could look at and be like,
Maguire, Young, Ronaldo.
Well, he's not going to look at this. I'm not going to
Ronaldo's
say Maguire, but Ronaldo maybe.
But the others, I wouldn't say, because they're not exactly winners. The others. Young might have been, but not Maguire. And I think that's the issue.
Well, yeah, but I don't think that you kind of learn captaincy. That it's like, you sit down, you take the captaincy exam and stuff like that. It's Bruno's had enough time to improve, and the thing is that Bruno knows people in football. He can talk to Ronaldo, he can talk to Casemiro, he can talk to all these players that he knows and find out what it needs to be. What it means to be a captain, how you can get the best out of people on the pitch. And look, off the pitch, Bruno does a hell of a lot of good stuff. Like he offered to pay for some workers recently. I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was the women's team, like getting their tickets and stuff. Like him and Tom Heaton gave the money. Like Bruno's not a bad lad by any stretch.
I like him. I like him a lot, man.
Yeah,
Really do.
but whenever you see a player getting away with something on the pitch, and then fine, it happens once. Yeah, we're all human. But if it happens twice, 3 times, and becomes a pattern, Bruno as captain should be someone that gets on them for that. Because you're disrespecting your teammates if you don't work hard enough. So I've given you the example of Rasmus Højlund not running the channel, like defending it, and we're down to 10 men, right? He's got to. Do you remember when Anthony refused to, like, was going mental about playing at left back? Bruno it was McTominay that went over there to tell him to shut up. It should have been Bruno, like as captain and things. There's lots of little things that Bruno isn't doing as captain. But the biggest is that we're in 14th. Like, and he should be ashamed of himself, to be honest, as the Manchester United captain for being in that position. Should be doing everything he can to get us up. And I'm sure he is, but could he be doing more?
He could definitely be doing more, but I think he is. You can tell he cares about United. Out of all the players that have been signed at United, he definitely does care. And he definitely gives 100% every game. I'm not going to question that.
Shout out to Red or Dead. We're just in the middle of a heated rant, like where we're actually listening to what each other says and considering it. I
don't think Keane has anything against Bruno. You know, I think he actually respects him as a player. He just thinks he should be doing more.
I don't.
You're muted, by the way, Mr. B.
Sorry, you don't rant at somebody like that.
Yeah,
and say you have respect for them. He has no respect for him. And the thing is, Bruno can't publicly say anything to that because Keane was a winner, league winner. Yeah. You understand?
7 league titles.
There you
Champions League.
Bruno has to shut his mouth and accept what Keane says, because the moment he opens his mouth, he's done. The moment he opens his mouth to that, tries to react to that, he is finished. He's finished at United. Keane was Keane, man. He was a whole different level of captain.
Do you think like some of the previous United managers, including the one currently of like Mr. Trick, like not getting Keane as assistant manager?
No.
You don't want Keane at the club. You don't want Keane anywhere near the club. No. Those days we
signing captains. Okay. We can't develop them, can we?
What, as in what, develop players turn players into captains? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, like Maguire, I think is a bit like Bruno, where committed professional, loves the club. You know, like he tries to do his best for Manchester United. Obviously, he's not as good a player as Bruno is, and isn't going to come up with goals and things like that. But like Maguire is committed to the club, and I think he holds it very dear and stuff like that. But he didn't develop as a captain. Bruno hasn't developed as a captain.
So like, how do you expect them to develop? What do you expect them to do? What would you see as? I mean, Maguire just turned into absolute shit.
David Beckham for England. He developed as the England captain, didn't he?
Yeah, but you know what? That
red card, like, actually made him. It actually made him.
Yeah, Beckham.
Made him.
There's levels to, I don't know what the word is, self-confidence or maybe self-belief.
Yeah.
And they tried to kill him.
Yeah.
They really tried to kill him, but I think it was the United family. I'm not saying the United family, like, oh, nobody else cared about him, but when he came back, we already
after him. We loved him.
Right, you understand. You knew already that the club was going to look after him. If that happens now with a player that we have, did we protect him? Really?
As fans, we went and stuck all those post-it notes up. We talked about it earlier.
Yeah, but it's okay. That is I don't need to make it sound trivial, but Rashford was racial.
Yeah, but so was Saka's. But Saka used it as a positive to elevate himself. Rashford just.
So what you're saying? What you think it was? You think he did? You think Rashford's form dipped because of the abuse that he got for England?
I
Sancho. So does that make
Yeah.
them weaker players than
No,
than,
it
than
doesn't make them.
Saka?
It doesn't make them weaker. But I just know Saka. He kind of used it to fuel him to become better.
Saka also got a standing ovation from Tottenham fans
From Tottenham
at the
fans,
start
yeah.
of the
Yeah, he did,
season.
yeah.
And I remember the first game that we played with Bex after the World Cup was away at Filbert Street against Leicester. And I think we won from a last-minute corner. I'm not completely sure. Maybe Richard Hawkins or one of the law masters here can tell me. But Beckham bloody got it in that game. And also it might sound a bit trivial, but every week they were talking about fucking his wife up the arse. Like everyone was singing that about Posh Spice, and that kind of affects you. But look at Neville, who followed Keane, and basically equaled him in titles and in Champions Leagues and stuff like that. Right? We've lost that culture now, so we haven't been able to develop it. Ollie tried to develop it; it went wrong. Amrin and Ten Hag appear to be trying to impose it, but it's not working. I think now you look at someone, I know we've mentioned him a lot, you look at someone like Trevor Chalobah, who is a proven captain. Like, even a Delict, I think he was an Ajax captain. Fair enough. Lindelof, Sweden captain. Get more of these type of players in that have demonstrated like that they can sort of deal with the leadership and things, because we are unable to take a player and make him into a captain. So we're going to have to buy in. The same way we might buy in a winger or something like that. I see no difference.
You see the problem with buying in a captain. He will have to perform at a level above the players at the club already for maybe. Do you think that the club can buy a player and make him a captain of that squad of players? It would have to be somebody that's already there, though, Bath-time, surely.
No, I don't think you buy in a player. I don't think you go and get Declan Rice out of Arsenal and give him the captaincy on day one. I think what you do is that the next signings we get, we look at players that have been in senior leadership groups in their country, their club, or who have been a captain in youth levels, and we prioritize getting those kind of players in. And what that leads to is a culture in training of people that are professional, that are dedicated, that have that mindset where they're not focused on themselves, they're focused on the team and making the team perform. And in that environment, naturally, a kind of an alpha, a leader emerges that leads those players, the way it happened with Keane, the way it happened with Neville. And that is kind of how you... So I suppose what I'm saying is that you've got to give an environment by buying in the right type of players that allows a natural leader to emerge. Is that more understandable?
Yeah, but surely don't you then have to try and it's... Yeah, I get what you're saying, but that I just think that makes it more difficult because these players have, because the players who are already at the club have to kind of not say bow down to the player coming in. That's probably the wrong word to use, but maybe I don't know. Yeah, maybe you're right, but maybe these players feel a bit slighted that somebody else is coming in. And
well, look at what Cantona did when he came in. He was doing stuff like staying after training, practicing his technique and things like that. He set an example of how to lead you, of how to like live your life as a footballer, and he eventually became captain. What I'm saying is that we need to get these players in that have sky high standards, that are living correctly and things like that. Because I mean, we had one in Ronaldo, and you saw how apeshit Ronaldo went at the fact that Mason Greenwood wasn't copying him and things like that. But you also saw that day one, they all looked at what he ate in the canteen, and no one had chocolate pudding, not even Luke Shaw. And I think just get in proper professionals, like get in your Chalobahs, get in your Gallaghers, get in people, and don't get rid of people like McTominay and Delot. Like, and that is kind of how you rebuild, by having dedicated athletes that are professional, and basically you just have to go up incrementally, like increase yourself up to where you get someone like a Salah who has all of that plus very ordinary world-class attributes. No?
Yes.
Tyrone?
Ish.
It's going to take us a long, long time to get back to the top. That's if we even do get back to the top. I know it sounds negative.
We'll get back to the top.
It's going to take a long time, though, bath time, man. It's going to take ages.
We might not be here. We might not be here to see it, but
I will be. I can't die. I'm indestructible.
You better hope you live like a vampire then.
Yeah. So solid as a vampire. Wow. Yeah, I don't disagree. It's going to take a long time, Tyrone, but like we can right to get back to the top. We can do one or two things. We can either invest in youth and develop a team, or we can just try and spend our way like to the top. We try to spend our way to the top with Pogba's and Sancho's and things like that. At the moment, with Yoro, Kobe, Garnacho, even Rasmus Højlund, certainly Dorgu, like we're getting youth in and we're looking to develop them and develop the team. And we've got a young manager in as well, only 40. We're going to need like experienced professionals like Johnny Evans, etc., like in the squad and so on. So would it be too crazy to say bring back a Welbeck, bring back an Ashley Young, not expect them to play every game, but be there in the squad to show these young players how you live, how you train, how you deal with pressure, like to kind of pass off a bit of experience to them?
Not necessarily Young, but I wouldn't, if it was Welbeck for the season, I wouldn't mind seeing Welbeck. I think Young's a bit too old now. About 38.
Yeah, but Young is, Young might become the eldest outfield player like in the Premier League, and that's nothing to be sniffed at. Like him, Barry, Milner, like Giggsy. Well, maybe not Giggsy, but like having these guys like in the squad showing you day in, day out what you need to do to be at the top for 20 years. I don't think that's worth writing off. I mean, we had Tom Huddleston in with the under-21s. Like,
yeah, I heard about that. Yeah,
beautiful player. Like, well, not beautiful player, very ugly player, but beautiful technique. I love Tom Huddleston. He was a wonderful midfielder.
He's not as good as Carrick.
He was. Look, don't get me started on Michael Carrick. I'm not starting on Michael Carrick.
Okay. No, I was just messing.
He was a very poor midfielder, regardless of what all of you say. Right, get that beauty. Oh, Mr.
So I don't know what the fuck happened there, mate. I'm sorry.
All right. Is it are we getting near Lacanach time? Because I've just seen the time.
Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, we are. Yeah, and I still don't know what's happening. Sorry.
That's it. Right. Leave it there. All right. I want to thank everyone that is in chat. Like Richard, thank you so much for being a sponsorship. Subvids, Red or Dead, like Bilal, we deserve better. I hope you email me. Andrew was wittering on, all that kind of stuff. There is a sister channel of ours, which is called, actually I'll just get it. That I all want you to go to, and we'll send you to I'll send you to Jarvis, but you all need to do me a favor, right? I want you to go to this channel, and when you come in, I just want you to say Mr. B Mafia, right? Because if we send loads of people to channels and they all say the same thing, it makes us look like a really powerful YouTube channel. Yeah? And people will be like, oh, we need to get in with the agenda and stuff like that. So if you all go there and go Mr. B Mafia, that would be absolutely fantastic. But anyway, we're back on Sunday. But all of you enjoy. Yes, here you go. There you go. Mr. B's men.
We'll take that. We'll take that.
Go and say that. But anyway, it's a lack a notch from me.
Like a notch from me.
Like a notch from me.